So there's a new DC event coming soon called DCKO, where a bunch of different heroes fight in a tournament style bracket, and whoever wins gets to fight Darkseid. So the official tournament bracket's been released, and we don't really know who's gonna win or lose. So I'm just gonna go over the brackets who I think personally is gonna win the matchup and who's gonna win the tournament overall. So let's just get right into that. The first matchup is Superman versus Giganta. This is quite a clear winner because Superman is DC's poster boy. I think he's gonna win, not because he's Superman, or because he's Superman, honestly. But in this tournament, you're actually allowed to bring one item with you to help in the tournament. So Superman's already shown off he's gonna bring red sun knuckles. I don't know what Giganta's gonna bring. She could, because she can turn big and she has super strength. So something that complements her powers and also makes her stronger would be maybe something that allows her to grow even more stronger or grow even bigger. So that could be a real challenge for Superman. But in the end, I still think Superman's going to win. Unless Superman gets out early first round, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Superman is going to take this and win this handedly. Next up is Captain Atom versus Power Girl. This is a really interesting matchup because I could see this either way. Captain Atom could win because he could just fucking explode himself for some some reason. Captain Atom always explodes himself in DC event. I'm not lying. He always explodes himself. He always explodes himself in DC events. That's gonna happen for sure somehow. Power Girl's a Kryptonian though, and he's always struggled with those. And she could actually punch hard enough to make him explode. Like if she breaches his skin, he could explode. And I don't think that's gonna happen, but I don't actually know. It's a toss up for me. But I do think Power Girl has the edge here. But Captain Atom did get a bunch of new powers in the last DC event. This is a really tough fight. And whoever wins is fighting against Superman, so it doesn't really matter. I would say Power Girl has more experience though, because she's a Kryptonian. But what would And they're allowed to bring one item as well. So Captain Atom, what would Captain Atom bring? Something that doesn't allow him to explode? Not the event did say they're allowed to bring like special items to the DC universe, so I'm assuming they're gonna pop out with something crazy. Like Superman just has like uh yellow sun knuckle dusters, which aren't bad, but everyone else could pop out with crazy stuff. Like if they know he's fighting if they know there's Kryptonians that's generated, they straight up bring like kryptonite or something. I don't know. I don't want to go with two Kryptonians in a row, so I'm just gonna barely eke it out to Captain Atom. But for me, this is the toss up, and it could go either way. Yeah, it could go either way. Next up is Guy Gardner versus Firestorm. This is also a really interesting fight. I could also see going either way. I would probably personally give the edge to Firestorm, but you don't really know what could go on. Guy is pretty smart, and he has fought Kryptonians and stuff before, but Firestorm, with the Firestorm Matrix, I'm pretty sure he can make anything, but yellow doesn't work as a weakness anymore. Hmm. I'm gonna give it to Guy Gardner because of the experience. If he isn't hot-headed, he might actually win. But anyway, these are actually really tough fights. I didn't think they'd be this hard to decide. Hmm. I'm thinking Fire. If we're going at the version of Firestorm, I know he's still a young kid and he's still inexperienced relative to Guy, who's fought like alien world-ending threats pretty much on the daily. So he's more effective if that makes sense. Next fight is Cheetah versus Gay Garrick. Jay Garrick, sorry. This is another really interesting fight because if you remember a couple of years ago, there was this speedster chart where Jay Garrick and Cheetah was on it, and Cheetah was faster than him. So this would be like a test, I guess. I do still, personally, I think Jay Garrick is probably faster in like, I don't know, running speed, but Cheetah is probably faster in combat speed. And Cheetah is more experienced than Jay in fighting. Like, she fights Wonder Woman. That's like a high level fighter. And she tags her too when they fight, and they're pretty equal. And Jay's fast, but he's also in the JSA. He's also fought pretty extreme people. Like Jay ekes out an experience. He's been fighting for like what 90 years. He's pretty old by now. So, But Cheetah is pretty experienced too. If we're going with her current origin, I think she was Barbara, a scientist, and went to the Amazon and got turned into a cheetah-like creature or something like that. She has the curse of the cheetah. Damn, this is a really interesting fight. Oh my goodness. I don't know who's gonna win. I think I could see it going either way. I would give the edge to Jay Garrick because of the Speed Force, but Cheetah is gonna be fighting to kill, honestly. Like, and they can bring an item too. Like, what would Cheetah bring? Something that makes her even faster. She can already cut Superman with her claws, so she doesn't need super strength. Ah, fudge cakes. I'm gonna give it to Cheetah just because she's more. I view her as more deadly than Jay Garrick, but I know that's not really the case since Jay's part of the JSA and he's fought some pretty tough guys back in his day. So, damn, I really want to think about this. You know what? I'm gonna give the edge to Cheetah, but just slightly. This could go either way. Honestly, it's a toss up. Like, honestly, like it's really hard for me to decide. Honestly, I'm just gonna go with Cheetah. Barely though. These aren't like clear cut winners. These are like fighting. Aquaman versus King Shark. I'm gonna give it to Aquaman. Yeah. Aquaman's king of this. This is the first clear cut winner, I think, maybe because I know King Shark's a demigod. That's pretty much all I know about him. And he's deadly, but it's Aquaman. He's league. King Shark isn't a league level threat. Aquaman, you could argue he is. And if he has his trident as his item, I don't even know how it works. Does he gets to bring it out trident? Yeah, I think Aquaman wings this, but I don't really know. But personally, I think Aquaman. Connor Hawk and Hawkman, two Hawks. Okay, Connor Hawk is a street level fighter. That's clear cut. Green Arrow's son, one of the greatest hand-to-hand deadliest martial artists on earth. But he's street level for sure. There's no denying that. Hawkman is a Hawkman is league level. He's pretty deadly. He has his mace made out of uru. Why is this even a matchup? I would personally say Hawkman would win this. Even in strategy, even in smarts, I think Hawkman still wins. If you remember some of his previous reincarnation, if he's still an archaeologist, if he's still a strategist, he wins this pretty decisively. But it's DC, they're probably gonna have Hawk. Can Connor even hurt Hawkman in any meaningful way? I'm pretty sure he's taken punches from Superman, and his mace can literally. How's this? Okay, I know how DC's gonna make this, but Connor's gonna win by some miracle because now they're gonna put Street Tears up here. But Hawkman, I would say, is a pretty big threat to anyone in this tournament, just because on the fact that he's a league member. Those are pretty tough to beat down. Oh my goodness, this image is missing one tournament member. Did I download? Oh my god. Okay, okay, okay. I recreated it and I got the full image this time. Next fight is Lex Luthor versus Black Lightning. And as much as I love Black Lightning, I know Lex Luthor is gonna win, but I'm gonna pretend that Black Lightning. They're allowed to bring one item, and Lex is gonna bring. Lex is super smart. You're gonna bring some crazy item that's gonna allow him to win. I already know. But Black Lightning does have a chance. Wait, Black Lightning used to work as the Secretary of Education for Luthor, so there might be some unresolved feelings there, or maybe not. I don't really know how DC cares about revisiting that. Next up is Etrigan the Demon versus Supergirl. I think Supergirl wins this, but it's magic, so and he can bring one item, so magic could make him bring some excuse my language, but some bullshit. You can literally bring anything. Like I don't even know what he's gonna bring. Like Supergirl, I don't know what anyone's gonna bring. Like the fact that you can bring an item completely changes the game a little bit. Let's see if any of the image in the background has any image. He has a knuckle dusters. Black Lightning still using his fists here. It doesn't look like he has anything on his hands. Cyborg, but I can't. No, it doesn't look like that. Looks like Wonder Woman. Yeah, it doesn't look. I can't see any physical items. I know. This guy brought Bane, Zatanna. Yeah, I can't see any items. Wait, Batman. Is that Orpheus? Whoa. Is that? It was a Batman villain. That was like some dude that had like a computer that could mimic martial artist move, but he got like nerfed pretty quickly. I don't remember his name. Oh, maybe I'll think of it. Anyway, yeah, yeah, I think Supergirl will win, but again, you know what? I'm just gonna say Esther again because I don't want another Kryptonian winning. But I could see this going either way. Just, just by the edge of his teeth, Etrigan wins due to some like magic demoning summoning bullshit or something. Excuse my language. Let's go to the other side and see what's happening here. Wonder Woman versus Starro. This is a pretty clear cut winner. Wonder Woman does. Yeah, it's Wonder Woman. Star's mind control is pretty tough, but I think Wonder Woman can get through. She has enough willpower, and I don't think any item can help. Because she already has the lasso of truth normally. Okay, that can already help her break through illusions. Lobo and Plastic Man. I know Lobo about Venom, and he has regeneration, so the Venom doesn't actually degrade him. He basically has infinite strength if you think of it that way. So that's really good. Um, this is a toss up actually, because both are technically immortal. Or Plastic Man lives at least a very long time, and Lobo has infinite strength basically now, and you can already Kryptonian level too. It's a toss up. Hmm. I love Plastic Man, so I might just give him the win for the sake of it. But Lobo versus Wonder Woman would be an interesting fight. And Wonder Woman versus Plastic Man would be an interesting fight too. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Plastic, just because I like him better. But I acknowledge most of these matches are toss-ups and they can go either way. So it's not like it's a clear-cut winner. Like anything could happen. This is my personal opinion and stuff. Swamp Thing versus Vix. What? Um, Swamp Thing wins this. Like I think like 99% of the time. But if Vixen gets an upgrade due to an item, I could see her winning. What would she get? She can already mimic the powers of animals, so maybe something that mimics the powers of animals of other planets. Like she can mimic like a space whale or something powerful. Does that work? Does that make any sense? Would that allow her to win? That's a really good question. I'm thinking no, but Swamp Thing doesn't really need an item to be OP. You kind of already is. Like, there's a comic I was reading where he regenerated from like someone's the rabbit she killed had. She was in a salt desert. She was trying to hide from Swamp Thing, and the Swamp Thing regenerated from like the rabbit's tooth that she was eating because the rabbit had eaten like green, and she had a little tiny microscopic piece of green on his teeth, and he regenerated from that and found her. But if you eat like lettuce in the morning, you can probably make your stomach explode. Okay, but I think I'm going to give it to Swamp Thing, but I know DC's gonna pull some stuff to make it not obvious. But I'll go with my gut, which is Swamp Thing. Admittedly, I don't really know much about Vixen. Cyborg, what? Cyborg with Batwoman? This isn't really a match. Cyborg wins this, but it's a Bat family character, so let's look at the image that was here. Hold on. He has a cannon and it looks like he's fighting. Oh, maybe we can make it out. It doesn't. We can't really tell. But he looks like he makes it. Wait, are these the final people? No, it's them fighting. I'm gonna go with Cyborg, but it's a Bat family character. You don't really know. Cyborg versus Swamp Thing would be an interesting fight. It'd be metal versus plants. So I'm just gonna go for that just based on vibes. That'd be an interesting fight. It's Batman. Oh my god. The answer is Batman. You're probably gonna pull some bullshit out. Starfire should win though. That much is clear. She's a lantern essentially. She's kind of OP. Like, man, what the hell's gonna Batman gonna break? Lanterns can move at what light speed? Whatever. It's Batman. DC loves him. He's gonna win. Or maybe he eliminates him. I don't know. But this Batman, just don't can't go wrong betting with Batman instead of against them. Red Hood versus Damian Wayne is a really interesting fight because they're both brothers and stuff, and Red Hood has an interesting relationship with Damian, and he loves him and stuff. So this could go either way. Either way, one of them is gonna have to face Batman. So Red Hood's not gonna actually try to hurt Damian. I think right. Last time they fought, Red Hood just hugged him and like said, "Yeah, I'm gonna hurt you." And Damian's like a spunk. But I do believe Red Hood. I think every Robin could beat Damian. I mean, yeah. I don't know why. I guess it makes sense to me because because last time they fought, it was like in the last time they fought, he hugged him, but before that, Red Hood trounced him. But you could argue it wasn't really a fight, and they weren't really trying because they weren't trying to hurt each other. So I'm gonna go with Damian just because of the way the DC universe works. I can see what's going to happen. So Batman versus Damian, very nice. Zatanna versus this is a really good fight. This might be my favorite. Two badass ladies. This might be really good. Zatanna or Barda. Magic versus Papa. Ooh, this is a really good fight. I'm gonna go with Zatanna just because You can't go wrong betting against Magic, I guess. But yeah, Magic is pretty OP. But I could see it going either way. This is a really good fight. I like this one. What the Harley Quinn and I don't care, bro. But I think he Metamorpho. But as Harley Quinn, she might pull something out of her ass. Like Metamorpho can make anything. If this was like a Kryptonian, I could say you could make Kryptonite or something. But and I keep on forgetting they can bring an item. Harley Quinn might bring a crazy, like insane item. I'm trying to think of powerful items in the DC universe. A Black Lantern ring for some reason. I don't know. But I'm gonna go with Metamorpho just cause I don't know, I like it better. That's pretty much it. I'm not familiar with her or Metamorpho, so I don't really know. But I did watch the Superman movie and it was cool, man. That's pretty much why. It's a pretty interesting match. Superman versus Captain Atom. This isn't really a match. It's Superman all the way, baby. Just because it's Superman, man. He's probably gonna make it to the final, honestly. Guy Gardner versus Cheetah. Ooh, Guy Gardner. I know he's dating Ice. He's not gonna do that. If it's Cheetah versus Superman, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But okay, I could say Guy Gardner maybe, but I don't know why he would win. Why would he win? It's a really good question. Why would Gardner win? I guess he's gonna fly maybe, but Wonder Woman can fly too. He's just more skilled and more experienced in dealing with all sorts of threats because he's the Green Lantern. Like Green Lanterns deal with a bunch of bizarre shit each day, and they're really prepared for that. Cheetah's just a Earth-based villain, maybe. And Green Lantern rings are OP. I don't think Cheetah can physically touch him if he's like mentally on game. But he might try to float with her, which is a little weird. Aquaman versus Hawkman. Ooh, have they ever fought before in League Comics? It's a really good matchup. I like it. I really like it. They're both pretty proud people. But Aquaman did mellow out a little bit more. I like this matchup. Land versus sea. Ooh, I'm gonna give it to Aquaman, but I admit it could go genuinely either way. But Aquaman, I would. Damn, I could argue against myself. Damn, I could argue against myself. Lex. I'm gonna give it to Lex. I don't know why, but he's probably got some bullshit against Magic. Okay. What we got? We got Wonder Woman versus Lobo. Have they ever fought before? No, he's fought a Kryptonian. I'm giving it to Wonder Woman because I like her better. That's pretty much it. It's just going down to likes now. I'm just joking, but I can think of a way she could win. She's a fighter, man. She's not gonna lose to Lobo. Ooh, technology versus. Ooh, it's a pretty good fight. It's a really good fight. I'm thinking Swamp Thing can just infinitely regenerate. You can't really kill him. Man, I don't know who's gonna win this. I haven't known who's gonna win these fights for a long time now. They're too tough. It's not even about strength, it's about intelligence. Like, I guess Cyborg could look up the time Waller beat him, which is by nuking an island, which is not possible. Unless Cyborg has an Cyborg carrier boom tube. Like, I don't even know where this fight is taking place. In a tournament stage? In the world? Because you can just boom tube into the sun or something? I don't know. That wouldn't even kill Swamp Thing. I can't think of a way to permanently kill Swamp Thing. That's the problem. I'm gonna give it to Swamp Thing. Cyborg, people have hacked him into him before, but Swamp Thing, he's very hard to put down. Father versus son. Obviously, I'm gonna give it to father. It's Batman. I don't even. If Batman makes it in the final, I'm gonna be so disappointed. But I think he loses. I know in this, he's like sent to fight other Batman, so he might lose. But I'm just gonna give it to Batman because this is pretty other and a really interesting fight. Maybe Metamorpho can make like an anti-magic property thing, but for now I'm just gonna give it to Zatanna just because it makes sense to me. But she beats Metamorpho. We're getting pretty close. Superman versus Guy Gardner. Unfortunately, this really gives it's Superman. Oh my god. I really don't hope the final tournament is gonna be Superman versus Batman. That'd be disappointing. Aquaman. Oh, it's Lex. Oh my gosh, Superman versus Lex Luthor. I knew it. I knew that's what it was. Okay, now Wonder Woman versus Swamp Thing. I'm gonna give it to Wonder Woman, but I don't really think she would win because there's not. Oh, he is magic too, so she might know something. Let's see. That's a really interesting fight. Batman and Zatanna. I know Zatanna can win this fight. I know this in my heart and in my soul that she can win this fight. But it's DC. They're just gonna glaze Batman and make him win for some reason. I don't know what to do. Personally, I would put Zatanna as winning this fight because you just had to put gel on her mouth to shut her up. But anyway, they can bring an item into this. There's a whole bunch of scenarios I see. Like, I don't really know, man. Like, this is really hard. I love Batman, but he's not gonna be able to beat Zatanna if she has reality warping magic. Okay, wait, we're in the semifinal, right? Okay, Superman versus. Oh, this is what it comes down to: girl power, man power. Anyway, let's just flip Superman because it's. Wait, does Superman end up winning this tournament? He might. I'm gonna give it to Wonder Woman just because she's fast enough and aware of magic enough to do some things. And it comes down to Superman versus Wonder Woman. I'm gonna give it to Superman. I know, it's Superman. I already kind of predicted he would win this, but I guess Superman's the winner. Okay, this is really fun to make, honestly. Like, some of my choices are a bit iffy, but I like the final matchup of Superman versus Wonder Woman. I don't think that would really change, except maybe it's Superman versus Batman. But again, it's like Batman can't beat Wonder Woman or Zatanna. Or maybe I should have made Batman win against Zatanna. Then would be Wonder Woman versus Batman, and then Wonder Woman would be Batman. But either way, I think even Damian could have beaten Batman at one point, just because I don't know, man. But I do like the final winner. I think that's pretty much it. It was really fun to make. I don't think my picks are gonna be as accurate as I thought. I think some of them are gonna be definitely accurate, like the Superman and Batman matchups. At least the first round, those are pretty accurate. I think the first round would be pretty accurate, maybe. It depends on what item they bring into this tournament, because they can bring in some crazy stuff. Like there's stuff that can make you never die. I don't know, immortality. I don't know, something crazy that could alter the entire reality. But this is pretty fun to make.